All right, how you doing, Matt? You there?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, buddy. Good Lord, I tell you what, that was fast, man. I, ten,
It's been a while since
10
I've hopped
bells.
on here.
Yeah, yeah. I was just playing my intro. The song was rolling, so yeah, we're good, going good,
There we go. How you doing, man?
good. How's the world treating you?
Pretty good. Other than I just got off vacation, so good there. But over the past, really 7, 8 days, I've been dealing with some type of flu, cough thing. It's just kind of relentless, and now we're starting to get some Canadian wildfire smoke to enter into the picture, so it's kind of re-aggravating my cough here. But outside of that, man, I got no complaints.
Good deal. You know what? I fooled around with something like that for about I don't know, almost 2 weeks, Matt. It was crazy. It almost felt like allergies, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I just went on vacation myself. I went out west, and that was a crazy trip to say the least. I don't know if you ever been out there or not, but oh my God, we were in like South Dakota, Wyoming, Montana. Uh,
Oh, nice.
I don't mean, we just went to
Okay.
like anything you can think of out there. Mount Rushmore, Crazy Horse.
Oh yeah, I
Uh,
love Mount Rushmore. That's such an awesome place.
that was probably my favorite of them all, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the and Mount Rushmore kind of in it, but just the Badlands in general in South Dakota. It's
Yeah.
such a unique landscape. It's
The
just
Badlands.
very
That
different.
that was crazy too, wasn't it? Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Just to think. Imagine getting through there in a wagon.
no kidding,
I mean,
right?
I gained a lot of respect for Native American Indians and people trying to go west.
No
So
kidding. I mean, that's just crazy, a crazy environment for sure.
it is. But anyways, hey, I appreciate you hopping on with us today and catching up a little bit with us. And I know our listeners always love when you're on. So, and Brett does a great job too. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Hey, I'm not going to say anything bad about Brett because he helps me out too. So, but no, you guys are all young and very informative and like rocking and rolling. I remember that. What do they call that? Vim, vigor, and vitality.
something
So
like that.
something like that. I don't know. Showing my age more every day. Speaking of, how's your little one?
He is good. He's learning how to talk, and he's getting dangerous with words. So,
Is she? Good deal.
yep,
She
it's
getting mom
crazy.
and dad out?
Oh yeah, it's crazy from going from literally a baby to a small little human. It's just a fun little transition they make.
Yeah.
Uh, at times it's fun. At times it's not so fun. You probably get what I'm saying, but everyone with
Yeah.
kids who does. Um, but no, it's awesome. I can't
How,
no complaints. She's healthy and
how old is she?
smart.
I know she's little.
She's a little over 2 at this point.
Two. Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right. I was thinking she was like a year, so two. So yeah, you're finding out how many square corners you have on all your furniture. Yeah.
He's he's in and out. I mean, we're aware of the danger zones and the trouble areas
Yeah.
for sure. And she's running around all over the place. So she's a bit of um, a walking gosh,
Yeah.
waiting to happen.
Waiting to happen. It is true. And
Yeah,
oh my God, when they do fall and they just barely miss, you're like, oh my gosh, you know,
it
I
it's
just
it. There's been a lot of near misses.
yeah,
Uh,
it's like your
so
guardian angels with you, girl.
yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
It's a little scary. It's a little terrifying, but I don't know. That's just kind of part of growing up too. You
Yeah.
gotta learn the
Absolutely.
hard way.
Yeah.
He's a
Absolutely.
great teacher. This thing.
Yeah. True that. Speaking of the weather, man, let's get talk a little bit about the weather. Um,
Yes, sir.
what about the tsunami? I know when I saw that, they put that tsunami warning out for like Hawaii and the West Coast and
Uh,
all. And I mean, how do you know? I mean, just how do you know if it's going to fizzle or not? Because Tabitha, the girl that I'm dating, okay, she's got a family that lives over in Hawaii. I'm not sure which island they're on, but
Okay.
she was talking to them, and she said, well, it wasn't as bad as they thought it was going to be. How do you?
Yeah.
I mean, is that something that is just unpredictable? Is like, okay, you'll have a tsunami, but we don't know what it's going to be like.
Yeah. Well, for starters, I'm not a oceanographer or
Right,
seismologist, right? But being a meteorologist, you kind of get exposed to some of these things. I think it depends a little bit on there's different types of earthquakes and different types of shifts from the earthquakes. There's vertical displacement and kind of horizontal displacement. And I think it's especially when you get the vertical displacement in the ocean, right? You're literally lifting up the sea floor. And so, the exact extent of that, I'm not sure if they can measure that accurately. Again, this is kind of outside of my realm of expertise.
I got you.
But little things like that, on top of, what are the tides? What are the already kind of the wave height issues that you're dealing with?
How bad
Um,
did it
it,
get for like the West Coast or anybody else? I mean, what?
I, for the West Coast, I don't think there was anything crazy than maybe a very minor uh, blip rise in the water levels.
Okay,
Hawaii, I think, was pretty minor as well. I think maybe the Maui had the highest impacts for maybe
was it?
some minor coastal flooding, but it wasn't anything extreme. And Hawaii, keep in mind, obviously it was a very strong earthquake. I think I saw, one of the strongest hurricane or earthquakes in recorded history. Um, but Hawaii is, thousands of miles from where that happened off the coast of Russia as well, where, I've seen some social media accounts and videos where, Russia did have pretty significant flooding off, I think it was the Kamchatka coast there, and Japan has some flooding issues as well. But of course, those areas are much closer to the center of the earthquake, again, which
Okay,
is right off the
all
coast
right.
of Russia. So obviously, as these things travel and distance, they're going to dissipate a little bit here. But good news, right? I mean, we're not going to complain about a lack of
A lack
impact
a
from
lack of
tsunami.
impact after we've had
Right.
all the flooding we've had across the country. You
No
know,
kidding. And I think, you know, as far as from the officials who are putting out these warnings, I would probably err on the side of caution too. A very strong earthquake in the ocean. And there were some, like the Midway Islands were reporting, some drastic um, drops and rises in
oh,
the
okay,
water levels. And so, there were some signs there, and certainly, the strength of the earthquake would have lent caution to, let's
right.
be on the lookout for this. But I think there is. I think there is a level of unpredictability about this. Because they did issue, I think, some tsunami warnings for Hawaii. Luckily, it wasn't anything crazy. And I think I'm not sure if they end up issuing the warnings for the Pacific West Coast as well, but at least had some type of tsunami headline out there as well. So, the fact that it didn't pan out, I think, kind of alludes to the fact that there is a little bit of unpredictability with
Right.
the tsunami forecasting. So, probably I would say a young science, so to speak. A lot to learn um, in that kind of avenue there.
I know it was really weird, man, when I saw it, like right after the earthquake and they start putting the stuff on the news and whatnot. I was like, damn, that's pretty crazy. First of all, a big earthquake like that. And I mean,
Right.
isn't it something, and I know this isn't your area of expertise, but uh like like every time an earthquake goes up one, isn't it doubled in strength or something? I'm trying to remember that from like an earth science class. Times
Right.
10. Okay.
Yeah. It's
My
so they
crew
call it
here
like
is helping me. I should ask them that. I wouldn't ask you a
like
dumb
a
question.
logarithmic. It's like a logarithmic scale, right?
Oh,
So
okay.
the further the numbers go out, the higher it is. So you could say kind of double. It may even be more than that. You know, a ones or two is twice as strong as a one, and a four maybe
Yeah, I got you.
more than twice of what a two is, right? And
Yeah.
so the numbers, the higher it goes up, it's much more dramatic. And I think it was like an eight something, which is from what I can recall from earthquakes,
What do you?
crazy high. So,
Yeah, it does. To me, it did too. Hey, something more in level of your line of expertise. What do
yeah,
you think about hurricanes? I know I didn't warn you on this one, but that just got me
well, that's
thinking
fine.
about it. Uh, has it been slow, or does it just seem to me that it's been slow? And what do you guys foresee?
Well, I mean, it hasn't been terribly active, right? But we just got into August, right? Now we're getting into really the heart of the hurricane season.
Oh,
Now it's
is it?
around
Okay.
October.
Okay.
And so anything before August is kind of early type of activity. And we did have a few tropical disturbances and whatnot, but nothing substantial here. I do think, as we get into, I would say late August, I think especially September. September could be a month I would watch closely. Um, some kind of indications there that we could see a decent little uptick in September, but that's also climatology. September is the highest kind of time for hurricanes anyway, and so the signals are there for a little bit of an uptick, and it's just matching the climatology anyway. I think September. I think we could watch late August. We would need to watch out for, in particular, probably, the Gulf Coast, coastal areas would be some areas to watch. Maybe of Florida. We'll see how things pan out here. But let's watch September. I think.
So don't plan a trip to Florida in September potentially.
Well, if you do, I mean, this is like anyone, any year you're trying to plan a trip in September down to Florida. I mean, that's just kind of naturally a risk you're going to have to pay attention to. But if you, for instance, maybe your kind of late summer getaway is more in the Gulf, those could be areas that are a little bit more susceptible, a little bit more prone, in my opinion, just kind of based off some of the analogs. I was talking with Brett a little bit about this yesterday, but
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see if it's as far east as Florida. A lot of the details.
Well, I got two texts guys have sent me. One of the questions is um, West Coast versus East Coast of Florida. Is there any? In other words, do I guess Fort Lauderdale area for an example? Okay,
Mm.
is do you get more on the West Coast, or do they circle around that pass and come up to the East Coast of Florida more, or is there rhyme or reason to that?
Well, it's obviously going to depend on the pattern, and the pattern changes here. I think this year, if there's going to be an area that's a little bit more at risk, if I had to make an educated guess, I would say the west coast of Florida versus the east coast this year.
Okay,
But that's not, every single year is going to be like that, obviously. But again, I think maybe probably more into the Gulf, the Texas to, Louisiana, Mississippi, those would be areas maybe a little bit more prone this year versus, say, like a Florida.
Len had it last year. All right, and Mike Murphy, one of our listeners and one of your lovers too. He likes you guys as well. He said, "Thank Matt for the 82-degree high in Southern Kentucky today. He's going to give you a 5-star review."
Yeah, let's go. Listen, I'm loving it too. The heat.
Speaking of which, how long is it going to last? This cool. We're going to have. I know it ain't for. It's we're not finished with the heat, but we just got a few days or what?
So we got a couple days here of some cooler temperatures here. It depends on what you're asking about. If you're talking about our neck of the woods, Wayne, we probably have to about, let's call it Wednesday, Thursday. As we get the next weekend, I think things can start to slowly ramp up once again, getting into kind of the front half of the following week here. So we have a day stretch of some cooler temperatures here. Things will heat up. And I think as August plays out as a whole, it'll probably be a month of some ups and downs here in the Ohio Valley. So we've got the cooler stretch here to begin August, mid-August, warmth and the heat creep back in. I think there's a shot kind of into kind of mid-late August. There could be another cold front that swings through, can cool things down. We'll have to see the kind of staying power that cooler shot has, kind of the mid to late part of August. And then I'm concerned as we get into late August, things can warm up once again. Areas where the cold and the cooler temperatures can have a little bit more of some stopping power here, so to speak, staying power, is probably going to be more to the northern plains, folks into the Dakotas. If you have any listeners in the Canadian prairies, Minnesota, that's where I
Oh
think
yeah.
the cold front can have a little bit more um, juice to them, so to speak, where the cooler temperatures can be a little bit more present. But areas kind of West Coast, U.S. West Coast, can be warmer. And I think the East Coast as well, probably, they'll have some cooler shots as well. Kind of that similar time frame I mentioned, through about Wednesday, Thursday, but they probably kind of warm up to getting into next weekend as well. The Southeast U.S., the Georgias, the Carolinas, the Floridas of the world, the cooler temperatures may kind of get locked there a little bit more persistently over the next 2 weeks. But not like anything crazy cool,
I
a
got
little
you.
bit cooler than normal in Florida.
Well,
Well,
I was out at, I was in Wyoming. I think it's Wyoming.
yeah.
Is where I stayed. We moved around. We flew into Rapid City and drove like almost 1,900 miles,
Wow.
going to different, parks and things out there. But one of the places we got a reservation between Yellowstone Park and the Grand Tetons, and it was in between those two mountain ranges, and it was like
Uh-huh.
the only place, okay, to stay. But I share that with you talking about the weather, man. It was so crazy when we checked in and walked into our cabin. It wasn't a room, it wasn't like a hotel. It was just cabins and camping for people who had campers. But I walked in there and I'm like, there's no air conditioners in here. And I'm like, oh my God, And then I thought about it, and we got to talking about it. There were four of us that went, and we're like, maybe they don't need it. So I asked the lady when we went over to have dinner that night at their gift shop. Again, the only place within 3 hours, literally, to get anything, which was a pretty good monopoly, right? Uh, she says, well, we don't need air conditioning up here at this elevation, but maybe a couple weeks a year. She said, just so you know, it's going to 56 tonight. And
Huh?
I'm like, wow, that'd be pretty cool. But I mean, hell, I wasn't going to open my window up, not in bear country, right? I mean, I
Oh,
wasn't going to
no.
press a screen between me and a bear, but it did. It got
Cool.
really cool that night. It got into the mid 50s and didn't need the heat, but certainly didn't need the air. So,
Yeah, some of those higher elevation areas, they go through some, like, almost you know, and you find this in the deserts too, crazy temperature swings where you get in the dead heat of summer. Yeah, it can get really hot during the day, and then things can really cool off in the middle of the night.
yeah.
So you probably experienced maybe some of that where
Yeah,
it's a
we
little bit warm,
did.
a little sticky maybe in the afternoon, and then at night that's almost whip out the sweater weather. So
Yeah, it was definitely an adventure in weather, to say the least.
for
and
sure.
and it, it was crazy. I think I did reach out to one time to you guys about some what to expect kind of thing, because and
Oh,
as, as all yeah, and as always, you guys, Bam Weather was right there with the help, like hey, you're gonna be good, man. You're gonna be
perfect.
good.
Yeah,
We were
yeah.
we were. I know what it was now. It was actually I was getting ready to fly home and we had an afternoon flight and we were going from Rapid City to Atlanta. And I was like,
Hmm.
what's the chances of me getting to Atlanta at 5 o'clock in the middle of a storm, And,
Yeah,
you got, and I can't remember who it was that reached back out to me, but he says, no, you should be good other than if something isolated came up. And as always, bam, WX hit it, man. We landed, no weather. And he said, now flying from Atlanta to Louisville, you may have some residual rain left over, but the storms will be through Louisville, we think. And there you go. You guys did it
good.
again. Kudos,
Perfect.
my friend.
Yeah, love to hear that.
You got
Yeah,
to hear the
speaking of
bad stuff. It's nice to hear the good stuff, right?
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, speaking of Atlanta, you're probably going to be dealing with some scattered storms in the southeast, much of the southeast today. Gosh, from Dallas to North Carolina and areas in between, probably a lot of scattered storms down south today, and
Is it?
the high plains, more storms there as well. But around our neck of the woods, Wayne, we're going to be pretty quiet till Monday,
Well, good
and
deal.
even by the time we get to Monday, it's pop ups, probably pretty sparse in coverage, a little bit better
Are they?
coverage Tuesday and Wednesday.
All right.
Um, but doesn't even into next week, while there'll be some chances there, doesn't look crazy active across, you know, a lot of the Ohio Valley, really. I don't think most areas probably aren't going to average above normal as far as rainfall amounts are concerned. Getting the above normal rain is just going to be a matter of getting caught under, 1, 2, 3 cells throughout the week.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, this time of the year, on average, a lot of locations in the Ohio Valley average about, an inch or so of rain. So that's how much rain it's going to take to get to near normal.
To get us,
Uh,
isn't that crazy? Who'd be thinking we were talking about having to get to normal after the spring we had?
no kidding.
Good
I mean,
Lord.
it's been, I've been working here at BAM for about 6 years, and I would say this is by far, at least, Ohio Valley wise, been one of the most active summers I can remember. I know your folks in the East Coast as well. It's been unbelievably active. The East Coast, the Mid Atlantic. I know yesterday some very heavy rain, and it seems like almost a daily threat they've had over the past couple of days of some heavy rain out there. I saw some crazy images in New York of some flooding in Queens.
I did too yesterday. That was crazy, man.
Yeah, I thought there was an image. I think we even put it on our social media. It was kind of funny. Well, not funny. The flooding's not funny, of course, but there was a White Castle sign right next to another White Castle sign. I don't know what's going on with that. But it was like unbelievably underwater. Just crazy weather they've had in the East Coast. Luckily, the storms generally kind of North Carolina south today. So a good, break for the higher
For a
metropolitan
lot of
areas
people.
there
Yeah.
on the East Coast that they just need a break.
Yeah.
And they're going to get one.
I was watching last night on the national news. I had it on for a little bit while I was having dinner, and I think I saw something where they said, that New York thing you were talking about, where they had like 5 inches of rain or something pretty quickly, and then
Oh,
like 6 miles away they had a half inch or something stupid.
yeah. I mean, that's been the pattern though, like the past, what seems like past month, right? The crazy have and have not weather pattern we've had,
Right.
where, you may get a couple inches of rain, your neighbor got nothing,
Yeah.
or vice versa. It's just kind of the nature of the beast here. But I'm looking on our platform here, gosh, and kind of portions of Long Island here. I see some spots of flirting with 6 inches. And I
Wow.
see some spots on Long Island as well that got less than a half an inch. So there you go.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yep, that's how Mother Nature works sometimes in these type of patterns, for sure, no doubt.
Well, one final question, and I appreciate all your time this morning, man. I've kept you longer than I'd like to, because I know it's you got a bazillion things going on, especially coming back off vacation. But uh, we've had a lot of rain in a lot of places, but like here specifically in Louisville, everything's still green because it's been hot, but we've had what 30 plus days, I think, in the 90s or something. I think I heard y'all say here, and but our grass is still green. Because we've had timely rain. I I,
Right.
I want to put a little bit of an order in if I could. Uh,
Okay.
I would like it to dry out a little bit to turn the grass brown so we could sell a few more lawn renovations and
Hey, there you go.
so whatever you could do. Now, we don't want a severe drought and anybody starve to death, but on the other hand, we don't want to starve to death either at WLS. So we could
Right.
we could use
No,
a little help with some heat and dry weather for a couple weeks.
I got you. Well, like I said, into kind of much of next week will be a bit on the cooler side for you.
Yeah.
And we'll have some, pop-up opportunities. So, you miss out on some of these pop-ups. And like I said, it's not a overly crazy active weather pattern into next week. So there's a chance you can dry out. The temperatures may not behave for you.
I got you.
We get into kind of that week 2 time frame, right? Kind of the second week of August. I think we get back into a pattern that's, I would call messy. It's going to be right back into a pattern. It'll be warmer. It'll be a pattern of haves and have nots.
Okay.
Um, and so, you know, if you get, I guess in your view, it would be if you get lucky and you miss the rains,
Yep.
you know, there's an opportunity things can dry out. You
Yeah.
know, not everyone's going to be in that camp. You know, some
Right.
of the folks more agriculture focused.
Agriculture is going to want some rain.
You know, exactly. Um, you know, there's an opportunity there, but it's not like a for sure a dry pattern, and it's not like a I would call a for sure whip out the boat type of pattern either.
Yeah.
Just kind of those messy. There'll probably be a lot of storm chances you'll see. Um, you know, getting the next week and then the week after. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if there's these near daily afternoon, PM thunderstorm type of opportunities. That'll be just kind of very messy in the Ohio Valley. And I think that pattern probably true for, you know, Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, and then kind of stretch that to the East Coast and the Mid Atlantic. That's probably true for a lot of folks in the Eastern U.S. getting into that second week of April or August.
August.
The other 8 months.
Yeah.
Still, there'll be some storm opportunities there. I don't think it's going to be as extreme as what we've experienced, or at least what a lot of folks have experienced. I know the rain over the past couple of weeks has not been equal opportunity for everyone. I completely realize that, but you know, I'm looking at it in front of me right now, the past 7-day rainfall amounts, and obviously the East Coast portions of the Mid Atlantic have been extraordinarily heavy, and there's a lot of areas for some of your folks in the Iowa, portions of northern Illinois, and even some spots in the northern Indiana and north central Ohio that have gotten a lot of rain over the past 7 days. Now, I realize even in those areas, there's some folks that have missed out, but especially Iowa, it's been a bit of an onslaught there in Iowa, which, you know, a lot of farmers there too.
Right.
They're probably not going to complain about that.
That's right. Trying to get that corn in, right? I mean, to get it grown and so they can get it cut here. I guess they'll be cutting corn here probably pretty soon, I would think.
Yeah, I think especially in Iowa, we'll see.
Yeah.
You know, further east, I know a lot of folks in Indiana and Ohio. They were a little bit later to plant, so you may see some harvest around our neck of the woods a little bit later than normal. But for Iowa, I don't think that was much of an issue. But
yeah.
Anyway,
good deal. Well, hey Matt, thanks for hopping on, buddy. I appreciate it. And
yeah, of course.
As always, you know, I love you guys at BAM Weather. You guys help us out almost daily. So, you know, we when I say almost daily, you know, reaching out to you guys saying, "Hey, what should we do?" You know, it's the clear, sunny days that we don't have to reach out. You know,
perfect. Hey.
But other than that, for you guys listening to us, certainly, you know, check these guys out. Go to bamwx.com, and you guys still got your free 7-day trial or whatever. What you got, or how's that work?
I mean, reach out to us. It depends on. We have various different packages folks can get into, but if they're wanting a kind of professional making business related decisions option like you use, Wayne,
right.
We do offer trials for that package, and it's, you know, what's the harm in trialing it out? You know, I fully believe in our product and how it can help businesses save time, money, stress, etc.
Absolutely.
And I think it's at least worth checking out. If you know, weather impacts your bottom line, I think we can help you out.
You know, like I always say, I mean, it's one of the best return on investments. You know, business owners look at that ROI, right? And for what you spend and what you get is, you know, you guys will not be disappointed with Matt and Michael and Brett, and the list goes on and on of all the meteorologists they have that, you know, are there to help you. So I appreciate everything y'all do for us, for sure, Matt.
Yeah, and I got a question for you, Wayne. I don't know, how early do you guys start thinking about winter ops and kind of?
Oh, now. Literally now we start early orders on material like August, you know. So
okay, in August, because I don't recall when our fall to winter webinar is in particular. I have to check on that. But I don't know if it's later this month or September. We're going to start to, get into some of those preliminary thoughts for winter here.
Good deal. I was gonna not I wasn't gonna push you that hard today since you've been on so long with me, but yeah, but we'll have that discussion for sure coming
Yeah,
up because
we can have that discussion later down the line. Because at
yeah.
this point, I won't have any good information to give to you at the moment.
Well, just lie
Uh,
to me. Tell me it's gonna be a good winter for guys that do snow.
we'll see. We'll see. I listen. You got one good one last year, Wayne.
That's right. I know we're gonna go for two
Getting
in a
it back
row,
to
but
back. I don't know. That's a tall order, Wayne.
that's it. That is a tall order, isn't it? Hey, the pressure's on.
That's right.
All
That's
right,
right.
Matt. Well,
But
hey,
we're going to start the looking at that pretty closely here.
absolutely. But yeah, our it's funny that you mentioned that our early orders generally happen in August. So,
Okay.
on material and
And
certainly
you're probably not
September.
alone.
Oh no, absolutely not. Not
Yeah.
absolutely not. So, all right, Matt. Well, thanks for hopping on and have a great weekend and appreciate everything you guys at BAM Weather do for us.
Of course, Wayne. Have a good one.
You too, my friend. We'll see you.
Bye
All
bye.
right, bye bye. All right, that was Matt Griffin with BAM Weather. As we move on into my show, Matt hopped on there right away with me early on, and it was awesome. So, yeah, getting in a good weather for everybody. He made his run around the country a couple times there for us. So, with that being said, let's take a short break, and we'll be right back with more Profit Time here on Turfs Up Radio, your industry, your station. All righty then. Welcome back. Welcome back to Profit Time here on Turfs Up Radio. My goodness, it's always fun to talk to those guys at BAM. They're just always so energetic and ready to, just you can just feel the confidence, man. You can feel the confidence, and it's really encouraging to feel that confidence in anybody in any business that they believe in. And it's like you with your business, right? I mean, you got that confidence that hey, we know what we do, we know what we do well, we know how to do it well, and we're going to deliver that message. And there is a fine line between cocky and confidence, if you will. And cocky's probably not the right word, but I can't think of what my seminar word for it is. But the reality of it is that is the reality that there is a fine line between arrogance, that's it, and being confident in what you do, and that comes through training and education. And that's what Turfs Up Radio is here and is all about, to help elevate and educate the industry. And we're going to do it one business at a time. We're going to start with you. So, and then you got to turn around and help me with mine. And then we got a win-win situation, and everybody's better off for it. So, anytime we can get into a win-win situation, we're all good. Yes, indeedy. But anyways, hey, just curious what you guys might be doing uh, over the weekend. You know, uh, what you got going? It's Friday. Can y'all believe it? Woohoo! Truth Bomb Friday. And I'm sure we'll come up with something for a truth bomb. I got several things here that I might get into, but looking forward to this weekend. That it's my first week back after work, and you get back in and you get settled down. And I want to appreciate our everybody, Katie and Kyle and Daniel and everybody here at WLS. You know, uh, Coming back in and having things squared away. And but still, when you come back, you got a few things to get back in the rut, if you will. Not a rut, that may not be the best word. Groove. Thank you, Katie. Get back in the groove of things. It certainly helps out. So, but anyway, I did have a good time out there, and this weekend, I'm looking forward to having a good time this weekend. It's hard to believe that it's already August 1st. And speaking of it being August 1st, today is Matt's birthday with us. I think he turned 54 today, Katie said. So he's getting up in there in age a little bit. And no, not really. Shoot, I remember when 54 was young. That was 8 years ago for me. So, Chad, how old are you? 40. Kyle's, you were 38. Chris, 35. Katie's the young one in the group. Oh, well, but Daniel ain't in here, so so no, it's dang. The other Chris and Katie are really close, but Daniel's the young blood in the office, and then we're not going to say how old Jeopardy is because that wouldn't be fair. And she's well, she hadn't even hit the 29 and holding mark yet, but I'm still not going to say how old she is. But she's moving today, so she's going to be moving into a new spot to live. The house that she was renting, lady came in and decided she was going to sell it. So Jeopardy's moving along. So, anyways, that's what's going on around WLS today. And but yeah, I'm looking forward to a good weekend. I'm not going to do a whole lot, but might go out and ride up to an outlet mall. And it's almost time to get some of the kids, grandkids, not kids, but grandkids, some shoes for school. It's almost school time. Golly, Chad don't even have any going to school now. Well, yeah, you do, John. John, he'll be going to school. Be a senior, his last one. And time flies when you're having fun. School will start, more traffic will be out. So you guys, you know, going around, you're going to have more traffic. Don't forget to stop for the school buses. And but anyways, it's all going to be good. It's all going to be good. Um, Mike said his weekend he's going to take his kids up to Bucky's. Yeah, good deal. John, let's see, his granddaughter's fifth birthday party at his house tomorrow. She wants smoked brisket. Daniel and Kyle are my grillers. Uh, but yeah, that's funny that a little young lady, 5 years old, is looking forward to some smoked brisket. So obviously, you've been putting it on her, absolutely. So that does, man, that sounds good. It's going to be grilling weather around here too. I'm not sure what it's going to be like up your way, but I guess the cool weather will hit you guys too. Let me know, John. Is that cool weather coming your all's way as well? So, but I know here today it's supposed to be like 81 or 82 is where we're maxing out at. So, 83, something like that. I can't remember now exactly, but it's a whole lot better than it was. And the feel like temperatures is going to be pretty neat. So, let's see what my friends, speaking of my friends, let's see. There's a Robin Hamilton. I don't know if they're listening to us or not, but she just sent me a picture of them camping. This is their first camping adventure of the year, and it's not at our normal lake. It's closed to October and probably realistically going to be closed the rest of the year, but they haven't said that yet. So they went to a place called Del Hollow Lake. I know that doesn't mean anything to most of you guys listening to us, but it's a pretty good sized lake. Part of it's in Kentucky, part of it's in Tennessee, and they finally got to get their camper out, and they're doing the family thing this weekend. They took their camper, and I think uh, their son and daughter's taking theirs down. So um, Corey said he's having a bake sale at farmers market. Woohoo! That sounds fun. That sounds fun and exciting, Corey. Hope you do well with that. And yeah, Daniel had a good suggestion. Corey said you and Aaron ought to team up and do hot dogs and uh, baked goods. That'd be a hit for sure, no doubt about it. Oh my gosh, that could be it, Daniel. That could be it. So Seth said he's taking a road trip to Corey's. I hear you, Seth. Let's do it, man. We could road trip up there. We gotta all get together. That'd be fun as heck. You know what? Everybody try to do it if maybe at the Equip Expo, if how many of you guys are coming up there or not. But even outside of that, man, one week maybe we could all get together sometime. That'd be fun. That'd be really, really fun. And be happy to do that. We just got to get somebody to coordinate it for us. We could probably put it together. Daniel said he'll be the organizer of it. He's great at organizing stuff. I am not lying to y'all. I mean, he's just if he puts it together, you can just count on it being whatever it's supposed to be. I'll just say that. And I'm not saying it because he's my son. I'm saying it because that's, the reality of it. So Tabitha said she's into going to Corey's. Absolutely. She likes the desserts, Corey, for sure. And it's one of her absolute favorite things. She is one of those people that would rather have dessert before dinner, and if dinner don't show up, that's fine. Have another some kind of dessert. So that is true. So sounds like we got a plan. Sounds like we got a lot of people interested. So Corey, you might have to do a little extra bacon. That is going to be our truth bomb for today, Friday, August 1st. We're taking a road trip to Corey's. Corey, we just voted you the number one road trip, if that's all right, buddy. And we'll all be good. Hey, we'll contribute to the cause. I mean, all you got to do is make it, because all those pictures you've seen of what's up. Yeah, Mike, you're right. It could be a Turfs Up Radio meetup. I mean, hey, none of us are big influencers or anything like those guys that, do the big meetups, but we need to do that. Yeah. Corey says he will be at the GIE and he will be baking. My home is open to you, my friend. Do what, Kyle? Oh, yeah. Baking, not getting baked. I don't know. Whatever your poison is, that's fine, whatever. But there's two kinds of baking that might be going on at the expo, but we'll leave that alone right now. But, anyways, oh my God, I love you guys. You're awesome. But, yeah, I'm just making sure I got all my text caught up from you guys. But, one thing I wanted to talk about today, and I've kind of almost run myself out of time. I mean, for me to look and see I've got 15 minutes left is not much time for me, but I am going to hop on with Darren right after my show. King Darren's going to be live today, and I'm going to hop on with him for a few minutes on his show. But one thing I wanted to talk about a little bit was do you guys do smaller landscape jobs? And I know that's different for each and every one of us, what small is and what large is. But the reason I bring that up, quite honestly, is we had a customer. We actually do take on smaller projects. I mean that some people are going to say, well, no, why in the world do you want to fool with something, $1,000 or $2,000, you know? But I mean that for us, we like it, you know. But Robin said all the sites are little circles. That's cool. So let me respond to her before I get into what I want to talk about. She's going to think I'm ignoring her. So, but when you talk about a smaller landscape, it's just like today. I had a lady call in today. She accepted her proposal online, and uh, a little bit of an older lady, not too old, but a little bit of an older lady, and she was having a problem trying to figure out how to pay her deposit, through the portal. But so she said, "Hey, I want to go ahead and get that work done that we talked about." And so that was good. I actually had a pretty decent little week this week for first week back. I don't know, Katie. Would we have three? I think I had three. Yeah, I think I had three this week. So, yeah. But yeah, she said I want to give you my credit card information to get my deposit paid on that trimming and whatnot you're going to do for me. She said I just was having a hard time trying to do it online, but it's funny. We talk about what are you doing to make it easy for your customers to pay, and as easy as it is for 99% of the people, there are some people that struggle with uh, making online payments. And quite honestly, Katie went online today to pay one of our bills here today, and Katie's really good. It wasn't an ability problem. It was something with just wasn't her allowing to enter, an online payment. So, that's the good and bad of software sometimes. And this happened to be AT&T, so it's not like they're running garbage software, you know. But I I personally like some smaller projects. I like, bigger projects as well. But, we do take smaller projects. Mike says he likes to take 1 day jobs. Yeah, I mean, they're good. We had a guy came through our website last night, and I don't want to put y'all to sleep with this, but I just thought I'd read it to you because when I saw it, I thought, yeah, man, we'll do this because we actually, Katie promotes the fact that we do smaller projects, for like people that are living in an HOA situation or patio homes where they're responsible for their own patio areas or whatnot. You know, don't necessarily not do those. Just thinking, oh, well, there's nothing in them. There's not enough in them. You know, what we found, and Seth, to your point, some of those smaller projects, Seth just said, they're faster and you're in and out. They're profitable, and they can be. It's like this guy said, "Hi, I'm interested in a quote for landscaping services for a space on the small side. I understand some landscape companies may not want small jobs and would prefer honestly to know that up front. If you're still interested, I need landscaping and mulch for a shrub bed that he wants put in, as well as something around my HVAC unit. It's two areas." He said, I've got a crepe myrtle, and he says, I'm not sure how to spell it, but he did okay with it. Looking forward to your input. Absolutely. And Kyle actually reached out to the guy, set an appointment, and he already went out and saw him this morning. So we'll see how that goes. But, you know, and I get it. Some companies aren't into smaller projects. But again, you know, you get smaller projects, you're in, you're out, it's done. Now, I also, like I said, understand the larger concept, like Darren, for an example, when he was rolling hot and heavy, he liked very large projects, and that's okay too. But, and maybe we can talk, I don't know what he's planning on talking about on the show, but maybe that's something we'll talk a little bit about. But yeah, I mean it's not wrong or right. What's what fits for you and your niche. Because it's cool to have some projects sitting in there of all sizes, and it's like lighting. We've done some decent sized lighting jobs, and we've done some just normal size lighting jobs. We're actually putting a proposal together for somebody that's literally going to be two lights with a little rock. So we'll see how that pans out. But, you know, um, point is, it doesn't have to be big to be good, and you don't have to do big projects to be good. Don't let the little things slide through the cracks, especially you guys, that are smaller companies, and you're probably not. But on the other hand, let me say this, and this may be the second half of the truth bomb. Don't if you're smaller, be careful on how big of a project you take as well. You know, it goes back to that don't put all your eggs in one basket thing, where you try doing something too big. And like I say, too big is just based on company size, is all that's relevant to. So too big for some might be a $10,000 project. Too big for others might be a $10 million project, So, and small the same way. But the whole point is we don't mind doing small project work. We solicit small project work. And we found that it certainly gives us a really, really good opportunity to, we'll take that call later. It gives us an opportunity then to sit out and, make some money and make decent profit dollars fast on it. So I'm glad to hear you guys. I appreciate your all's input on that. Several of you guys responded, said, yeah, you like the smaller projects as well. So with that being said, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back with more Profit Time here on Turfs Up Radio, your industry, your station. All right. Welcome back. Welcome back to Profit Time here on Turfs Up Radio. Yes, indeedy. And I wanted to wrap up my show today with something that we really enjoy doing, and that is since we started doing some landscape lighting uh, about a year ago now. About a year ago now. Um, anytime we do an installation, we always go back and that after we've done the installation and that evening or the next evening, depending on what's convenient for the customer, and walk them through it again. We walk them through it while we're there, if they're there, as far as the app on their phone and setting things up, and then we'll go back and do it again. Just hey, let's look at it at night, make sure everything's good. And Kyle went out last night and met with a customer that we did an installation for Thursday. Yeah, Wednesday. We did it Wednesday, and went through it with him. He said, "Man," he said, I didn't get out of there at about 10 after 10 last night, but we got to talking and going through their app, but I think people appreciate that. And we talk about the little things that we can do, and he went out there and spent the an hour or so with them, you know, uh, making sure that they understood the app and helping them, showing them again how to name their lights and how to adjust the lights and going through that whole process with them, and then but what he noticed was one of the lights that we had on a statue had a bit of a shadow on the face of the statue in their landscape, and that's why you guys that may be considering landscape lighting, and we are by no means experts at it at this point. We're just learning enough to be dangerous right now, but that's why we decided, hey, we're going back. We're going back on every one of them at night. Let's look at it, make sure we don't have any hot spots, make sure things are lit up the way we want it to be lit up. And, the guy really appreciated Kyle bringing it up to him that, hey, we can get that, we're going to get that shadow off of that statue. So, what it amounts to is we just sent a couple guys out this morning to bring the bed out a little bit further because where the light was at and where we wanted to put it, it didn't need to be moved far. It just needed to go maybe a foot, literally. But to get that shadow off of it. But the guy appreciated the fact that we were going to come out, redefine the bed, move the block that's in the bed, and move the light. And I think that's what we look at as a business is what are you willing to do, to go above and beyond. And I know I'm not saying you aren't, but I just think that's one of the little things that we can do with the lighting side of our business is to go back out in the evening, go through it with them, make sure they love it. And generally, Kyle and I will go together on them. He snuck out there last night and didn't tell me he was going. But because what we found out too with these is the customer really appreciates the fact that, as an owner, you're out there and you care. And there's nothing more valuable than caring. That's just it. We talk about perceived value and all these other things, and they're all very, very important. But when a customer knows you care, is when and how you're creating loyalty for not just the reoccurring revenue from that client. And you say, well, what's the reoccurring revenue on a landscape lighting? I mean, we'll get into that on another show. But there is. But more importantly than the reoccurring revenue potentially on that is the fact that when they know you care and they're happy and they see you out there and making sure things are squared away, What are they going to do? That's exactly right. They're going to refer you. And yeah, we're hungry. Wayne's Lawn Service, we're hungry. We want referrals because referrals are like shooting fish in a barrel. You know, it's just we joke about it around here and say when you get a referral, you're an order taker, not a salesperson. And but what if it's what you've done up to that point for your client to get the referral? That's what I want you guys to think about. That's what I want you to think about a little bit. What are you doing? And certainly asking for it is important. But past asking for a referral, what are you doing from the little thing side of your business that when somebody is out, one of your customers is out in a conversation with their friend, their colleague, coworker, whatever it is, and whoever it is, that you pop into their mind of saying, hey, I need to refer Mike, or I need to refer Seth, or I need to refer Corey, or I need to, I need to refer John, or I need to who fill in the blank. They need to refer you. That's who needs the referral. So that's what I want all of us to think a little bit harder about is what are we doing to create referrals within our business? And on that note, we're going to hop off here. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate all the text. You guys make the show what it is. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Look forward to talking to y'all Monday. Stay tuned for King Darren and the Landscape Hero here on Turfs Up Radio, your industry, your station. And remember, profit is not a dirty word.